Has anyone ever experienced something that followed them even after they moved, and only realized it was never tied to the house? I never believed in ghosts. I didn't grow up religious. I don't watch horror movies often, and I've always been the type of person who needs proof before believing anything. That's why it took me so long to understand what was happening to me. And that delay almost cost me my sanity. It started 3 years ago when I moved into a small apartment on the edge of town. The place was cheap, quiet, and honestly perfect for someone who wanted to be left alone. The landlord was weirdly eager to rent it out, but I didn't think much of it. I was just happy to finally have my own space. The first week was completely normal. The second week is when the noises started. At first, it sounded like someone walking barefoot in the hallway outside my bedroom. Slow steps, careful steps. I assumed it was a neighbor. Old buildings make noise, right? I ignored it. Then I started hearing it inside the apartment. Always at night. Always around 3:17 a.m. every single time. It sounded like footsteps moving from the living room toward my bedroom door, stopping just short of it. Then silence. No breathing. No shifting. Just waiting. I checked the apartment multiple times. Locked doors. Locked windows. Nothing out of place. No signs of anyone breaking in. I even installed a small camera in the living room. Nothing showed up on the footage. But the footsteps never stopped. A month later, I noticed something else. Objects would move when I wasn't looking. My phone wouldn't be where I left it. Chairs would be turned slightly. Cabinets would be open just a crack. Not enough to notice immediately, but enough to make me doubt myself. I told myself I was tired, stressed, overworked. Then the whispers started. At first, it sounded like someone whispering from another room, muffled and distant. I couldn't make out words, just the sound of a voice trying not to be heard. I would sit up in bed, heart pounding, listening. Whenever I turned on the lights, it stopped. Whenever I lay back down, it continued. One night, I finally understood what it was saying. It was my name, not shouted, not spoken, whispered slowly, carefully, like it was learning how to say it. That night, I didn't sleep at all. I confronted the landlord the next day. I asked if anything had happened in the apartment. He went quiet, too quiet. Then he laughed awkwardly and said people always complain about noises in old buildings. He suggested I get a fan or a white noise machine. That should have been my sign to leave. Instead, I stayed. A week later, I woke up with scratches on my arm. Thin, red lines. 3 of them. Perfectly parallel. They burned like fresh cuts. I don't sleepwalk. I keep my nails short. And I lock my bedroom door every night. I checked the camera footage. At 3:17 a.m. My bedroom door slowly opened. From the inside, I was still in bed. The door opened just enough for darkness to spill into the hallway. The footage glitched for about 12 seconds. When it came back, the door was closed again. Nothing else moved. I moved out the next day. I thought that would be the end of it. It wasn't. The first night in my new place was quiet, peaceful. I slept for almost 8 hours straight. I felt stupid for ever being scared. Then, at exactly 3:17 a.m., I heard footsteps. Not outside my room. Inside it. Slow, barefoot, careful. I froze. Every muscle locked. My eyes were open, staring at the ceiling. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. The steps circled my bed, once, twice. Then something leaned down close to my face. I didn't open my eyes. I refused to. That's when it whispered my name again, closer this time. Right next to my ear, I moved again. Across the state. New city. New apartment. New life. I didn't bring any furniture. I didn't bring anything from the old place except my clothes. It followed me anyway. The whispers became clearer. The footsteps heavier. Sometimes I'd wake up with handprints on my arms. Bruises I couldn't explain. Once, I woke up standing in my kitchen at 3:17 a.m., holding a knife with no memory of how I got there. I stopped sleeping. The less I slept, the more it appeared. Reflections started changing. I'd catch movement in mirrors that didn't match me, smiles I wasn't making, eyes that lingered too long. Sometimes my reflection would blink one ID in single quotes. One night, I finally asked it what it wanted. The whisper stopped for the first time in months. There was silence. Then it answered, I just needed you to notice me. That was when I understood. It was never tied to the apartment. It was tied to me. I started researching sleep paralysis, hallucinations, trauma, anything that could explain it. Doctors told me I was exhausted, stressed. They prescribed medication. The medication made it worse. Now it talks to me during the day. Sometimes it finishes my thoughts. Sometimes it answers questions before I ask them. It knows things it shouldn't know. Things from my childhood. Things I never told anyone. Last night, it stood in front of me. Not a shadow. Not a reflection. A shape. Tall. Wrong. Its face looked like mine, but stretched, like it had practiced wearing it for too long. Its mouth didn't move when it spoke. You don't need to run anymore, it said. I already live where you are. I don't know how much longer I can fight it. I'm writing this because I'm scared. I'm starting to like the silence when it's near. I'm scared that the nights without it feel emptier than the ones with it. If anyone has experienced something like this, please tell me how it ends, because I'm starting to think the reason it followed me is because it was never following. It was waiting.